But, so I was tired this week. So the fact that somebody sent this to me, I was like, oh, perfect. Like, love that. You fucking wrote the episode for me, bro. Thank you so much. But I need to fucking get to this. Like, I have sleep to have and food to eat. Goddamn. She's scrolling Instagram, making posts like she has time. Anyway, this is episode 17 of Everyone Their Dog and Me Too. And I just want to give a quick car update. Not for you, I know you don't care, but for me. Because I want to talk about how my car that was broken into and my ID was stolen. If you know this already and listened to the last couple of episodes, so sorry. But the update is that the car has been written off initially for $4,000, which I disputed that, so now it's written off for $5,000. But that was a break-in, and that's my third written off car, and I will have owned 6 cars by the age of 28 years old. And that's my car update. Anyway, story time is titled The Creep at the Roxy, which was super easy to name. Love that for me. So, little context. My sister and I and my mom went to Vancouver this weekend to celebrate my sister's 19th birthday. So obviously my sister had clubs lined up that she wanted to go to, one of which happened to be the first night of her being legally old enough to club and drink, was the Roxy. So we go to the Roxy. And earlier on, we're kind of dancing together, and there's this guy nearby dancing in a very goofy, eccentric kind of way, and I kind of clocked, I was like, either A, if this guy is with other people, then he's probably really cool, really funny, just doing his own thing kind of guy. And if he's alone, he's someone to be kept an eye on. And the latter ended up being the scenario. So it's like the kind of goofy and funny that you wouldn't initially clock as predatory, you know? Like, it's almost as if he knew he couldn't be charming in a sultry or sexy way, so he just went with goofy instead. Anyway, like, which can also come off as, like, less threatening if you're being, like, goofy and, like, funny and... Anyway. So he was often in our vicinity, as it turns out, because I didn't really notice that until the next day when I realized that he was quite close more often than I'd noticed while we were there, because I was watching videos that I took of her and I, or her dancing first night at her first ever club, like documenting everything. And then the next day I was like, whoa, like he was there all the time. And I have video of him being there all the fucking time. And I think he liked my sister in particular, and you're going to find out why. And you're not going to enjoy it, and I didn't enjoy it. And anyway, we'll move on. So anyway, my sister and I are outside, and this guy. Keep in mind, my sister and I are 3 to 4 feet apart. You wouldn't necessarily know that we're together. And he goes up to her and says, "Do you want to dance with me?" And, my sister she probably started to answer with no, because she's a very clever girl, and she's just very smart and very sweet and very, she's fucking with it. But I jumped in real quick, because something's off with this guy, because by then I'd figured out it was the latter. He was, in fact, alone. And he says to her, "Do you want to dance?" And I jump in and say, "Sorry, how old are you?" And he says 21. I was like, try again. And he goes 29. And I go, try again. And he goes 31. And I said, "Is that your final answer?" And he said yes. And I said, "Well, okay, she's 19, so she won't be dancing with you." Anyway, we go back inside. He kind of fucks off at that time. Also, I do feel a little bit off. I wrote... actually, direct quote from my notes of this episode. Side note, I do feel a little off as I write these notes, because I damn well know my sister can speak for herself, but I'm a little more forward, and this man clearly needed a very blunt response, because he still did not listen. was what I wrote in my notes, because she is smart and she is fucking cool and she can stand up for herself, and she's a very strong, small woman because she's 5 foot fucking nothing, but she's incredible. Anyway, we go back in. Sometimes go so blah, blah, we go back in. Some time goes by. Let's have another sip of beer. That would probably help, right? Right. Okay, so we go back in, and some time goes by, and I'm taking a video of her dancing because it's her first ever night at the club. And it's a we should make a documentary about it. We totally should. Throw it out there on Netflix. I feel like they don't have very high standards. Anyway, so I took a video that I only noticed the next day, that this man puts his drink down, kind of walks near-ish behind her, and then he disappears from my camera because I'm just, like, focused on her and, like, making memories of her fun time. And you can see, while I'm taking the video, the moment that I step forward immediately and completely go, like, half a foot away from the back of her head, which is not great filming material. And just because I saw him put his drink down and then walk up behind her to try and dance near her, after knowing, by the way, that I would guess this man to be 38, 39. That's my guess. He was obviously lying when he said 32 because he lied the first 3 ages. So, was probably lying about that one. And he is very aware of his at least 15 plus year age gap, and goes to stand behind my sister, who is 19, 5 foot fucking nothing, dressed in a cute little skirt because as she should, and then has this man behind her who is predatory, there alone, to find women that are vulnerable in some way, shape, or form, drinking, younger, whatever, not fucking appropriate in any way, shape, or form, and goes to dance behind her. So I go and obviously put my body in between hers and his, because while I don't want his eyes on me or any woman in this club, to be honest, I'd rather his eyes on me than his eyes on my sister. So while my time perception at this point is not great, I'm sure that I feel like it was within about 2 minutes there were flashlights shining over at me and directly behind me from security, and I see security communicating with each other. And when I turn behind me to see what they're flashing their fucking flashlights on, it's him standing there. I did not realize he was that close. And, like, he's eyeing us up and down with his hand on his chin, thumb over his lip, and just no longer dancing, just staring. So the security's clocked him. And also, that club is amazing, by the way. I would like to throw out there, I don't, like, have any negativity toward the experience at this club. I fucking love this club. I love that you can bring your drink on the dance floor. I love that you can put your drink on this little shelf that they have directly in front of the stage, where the security stands and can see all the people dancing, all of the drinks directly in front of them. Like, it's set up so well and so safe and such a good time. And the fucking band, the range to go from Disney night to fucking AC/DC to Taylor Swift to Rihanna, bitch, like, it was so good. I fucking love this club. So did my sister. Like, fucking shout out to the Roxy in Vancouver. Anyway, yeah, security escorts him out as I am, like, shooting daggers at him with my eyeballs. And yeah, that's my story time. The entire trip was 90% of the trip was amazing. It was a really good experience. Be safe out there, kids. So I'm so excited. Insert devil emoji here. So episode 17 topic is, let me try to name it right here, right now. Privileged privileged dickhead thinks that he has a fucking leg to stand on. Maybe we'll call it that. Okay. So I think I've mentioned previously that since I've become more vocal about human rights, politics, etc., people tend to send me reels and videos and memes, and more often than not, concerningly far right-wing content, and usually asking my thoughts or saying you may have something to say about this, or saying, but what about this? And I do love it, because like it's been a long fucking week, as we just went over the last few minutes, or 12, 13 minutes, but so I was tired this week, so the fact that somebody sent this to me, I was like, oh, perfect, like, love that. Fucking wrote the episode for me, bro. Thank you so much. But it is difficult to see them. And because it's people messaging me, it's usually because it's people that are seeing my content and that I'm friends with or have made connections with. And then to see them send me videos that are more often than not challenging my views intentionally. And trying to find something that can kind of give in my views, or trying to poke holes in my beliefs and thoughts and ideologies and just like how I see the world working, which is fair, because like I do think it's important to look at different perspectives and different opinions and different sides of a subject. But do you know what's not fucking debatable? The lives of lesbian women, gay men, queer people, trans people, asexual people, two-spirited, the ENF, all the fucking little categories in the 2SLGBTQIA plus community they're all so fucking relevant, and it's not a discussion, and it's not a, what if this? It's like, no. These people do actually exist. They're telling you they fucking exist. They are trying to prove themselves to you, because you're trying to prove as if they are fucking mentally ill or crazy or using up your taxes unnecessarily, even though we pay for people who willingly use tanning beds and smoke cigarettes and drink and drive. And like, there's so much shit that your taxes pay for, but you don't really care unless it's a lifestyle that you either A, don't understand, or B, don't agree with, or C, it's a combination of the two. And people get really fucking upset about it. And I really just think it's a misunderstanding of human beings as a whole, and how different we all are, and how multifaceted we all are. And everyone should be equal, and everyone should have the same rights, and everybody should have the same fucking advantages and happinesses and memories and like abilities to do whatever the fuck that everybody else can in the world. And that seems to be a really hard concept for some people to fucking grasp. And some of us don't have the same rights that you do, because people think that we're faking it, question mark, for fun. All that being said, on occasion, I receive messages or reels, such as the one I'm about to discuss, and go, okay, that's like grade 2, or in this person's case, year 2, of what I see knowledge on activism to be. And so someone sends me this reel and goes, thoughts? Question mark? Which, I have a lot. And I'm not sure whether I should, you know what, we'll play it. See if I pause, see if I let it play through. I really, really, really doubt it, because it's really hard to not like burst out with, that's not a valid, you're not stating facts. You're just stating a weird ass pick-me opinion. What is happening? It's so hard to not interrupt this man. I started to write notes on this video, and I would get, like, he would say a sentence, and I would type a paragraph. Like, that's how cooked what he's fucking going off about is. It was so easy to be like, this is why you're wrong, in, like, this fucking subject with these 7 supporting points that you are incorrect in your dumbass opinion. I'm sorry. Actually, I'm not. Listen to the song that I just posted on a reel before I posted this podcast, which is supposed to come out in 6 minutes, but that's not going to happen because I'm still recording it and I still have to edit it. So it's going to be late. Anyway, okay. Here's the reel. Enjoy. I had a great time. I hope you have a great time. Let's do this. Let's do this together.
But not like that. Can we remember? Gay rights was about getting to the exact point that we are now at. We're allowed to do everything that straight people are allowed to do. We're allowed to get married. There's nothing that we can't do. And it is time to sit down, shut up, and enjoy the lives that those people worked so hard for us. If you are, in fact, just a narcissistic victim and want to cause as much trouble as possible, please do so under a different banner, because the LGB has had enough. For the first time since the 80s, tolerance of gay relationships is going down, and I actually don't blame people. Look at Pride. Look at the over-sexualized, fetishized show, which is an embarrassment to the normal gays like us. For those cleverly trying to tack trans rights onto the gay rights movement, literally no one is falling for that anymore. It's boring. Feel free to do what you want, but create your own trans rights movement and stop trying to bring us all down with you. I've had enough. Maybe do spare a thought for the poor people living in one of the 64 countries that still criminalizes homosexuality, 12 of which do so with the death penalty. Sorry, I have run out of sympathy for the people claiming victim status in the UK using their LGBTQIA+ label as an excuse to behave appallingly. And I just want to say big up to the common or garden lesbians who are at the absolute front of this fight and are doing some terrific work.
Okay. So, my thoughts on this video is this person saying that queer people are allowed to do everything straight people are allowed to do. I do understand, he says, in the UK, in his region, and he gives an appreciation for a certain part of the LGBTQIA+ community. I get that, but he's excluding another part, which really fucking diminishes the support that he's trying to give. It completely negates it, because he's fucking out here saying this group is doing great. He doesn't even acknowledge the trans group. He says LGB. He doesn't say LGBT. He says LGB. So he's excluding trans and saying that they're being tacked onto this movement. And honestly, trans people belong with us. They belong with this group. They belong with this movement. They belong with this parade, this pride. They belong. They fucking belong. And to expect them to make their own movement with no healthcare, no driver's license, a higher rate of suicide than any other demographic, really shows your fucking ignorance as to how our society works and how our society oppresses people, and in this particular conversation, oppresses trans people. And you're saying, make your own movement. That's the thing. That's where we stick up for each other. That's where we say to SLQGBTIA+ community, and you can say LGBT+, like, just add the fucking like, oh, your fight is over? Well, tell that to the fucking lesbian in Jordan. Tell that to the teenager that doesn't want to fucking be alive right now because they identify as male and they have come to the realization that they're gay, or they've just always known and they want to come out, and they know that their friendships are going to be compromised, their family relationships are going to be compromised. If your empathy doesn't extend past you and your relationships and your own borders, then yeah, sure, I guess your fight's over. Take a fucking nap. We'll be over here on the front lines for everyone around us that are different, whether it's their sexuality, it's their race, it's their gender, it's their fucking anything. We will be on the front lines for everybody so that we all are fighting for each other, because that's how a society should work. And if you're being fucking taken over by this hate for no reason, with no merit, with no stats, with no understanding of why you actually hate these groups of people, or like maybe you don't hate them and you only internally hate them, but you are just really fucking negative towards them and questioning them and saying that they're super sexualized, and why does it have to be so sexual? Everything's fucking sexualized, bro. Like, over-sexualized. Like, pop stars, movies, media, everything's fucking over-sexualized. But the queer community has a much more judgmental eye on them, which makes a really big fucking difference. So, like, the part where they're being themselves and loud and sexual and sweet and all the different kinds of personalities, and you just point out the sexualized part of it, or the sexy part of it, in my opinion, and go, I don't like that, because what if I had kids? Because some of you don't even have fucking kids to be worried about. And on top of that, queer people aren't responsible for fucking raising your children. And pop stars aren't responsible for raising your children. And no one else but the parents of the children are responsible for raising the children. If you don't want them to watch that show, cool. If you don't want them to go to that show, cool. If you don't want them to go to that parade, cool. Keep them fucking home then. Like, if you don't want to expose, everything's fucking sexualized. What are you going to do? Lock your kid in a home and hide them from everything? Like, you're only picking on the queer community because you're uncomfortable with it. You don't understand it. You think that it's taking up your tax money when really all your tax money is being taken up by fucking billionaires, not actually the people around us that are advocating for all of us, while you're shitting on the 1% that are advocating for you. But okay. Anyway. Did we finish the video? Yeah, we got to the end. I did pretty good. I didn't even interrupt that time. And I'm not even on ADHD medication today because my doctor forgot to fucking send it from 2 days ago and still hasn't sent it. So we're unmedicated and doing this. Podcast's late, still doing it. We're proud of me. Anyway, like, sorry we're not fucking family friendly to you. Do you know what else isn't family friendly? A gay club being shot up, people being traumatized at best and injured and at worst killed for their sexuality. So my friend, if you feel the fight is over, cool. Living in your region with your rights and your privileges. Sick. Like, enjoy, I guess. But also, that's homophobia and that's transphobia, and you can say that the person is gay in the video, but that still doesn't prevent someone from being a dickhead or being a homophobe or a transphobe, because you can have internalized homophobia, which this person has, and all of us fucking have, because I have it, and I need to check myself and try to rewire my brain, because my society has told me that it is only normal to be man and women usually stay home with children, and man go work, and blah, 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 and I've had to rewire my brain and all the little fucking, like, concepts that society upholds for us to follow, when we don't need to match any of it. Wow, this is getting really deep. Anyway, long story short, it's the pearl clutching for me. Like the, how dare they do that? Or how dare you act like that? Like, calm down. Calm down. You're calling us snowflakes? Really? Like, it's a man wearing a leather fucking skirt. Calm down. You can't even see anything. It's knee length. Relax. Take a moment. Take 5. Let your pearls go. Relax the grip. Yeah, that's the end of episode 17. She sucks at intros. Bye. She sucks at outros that badly that she has to re-record an outro. Okay, now bye.